There's a lot of chanting and emotions right now inside of the rotunda. Members of the LGBT community have lined up to stand up for what they believe is right. They say they are tired of Congress avoiding issues that affects them. Twitter is a good way to get the word out on anything, and that was the plan for Woods Cross PD. That's until they started getting a lot of angry phone calls. Well, they decided to change their mind. Just as a reminder, the Great Utah Shakeout is happening on April 17th starting at 10:15 a.m. It would be a great idea for businesses and families to get involved so that they can have a better idea of how to get prepared in case the next big one strikes. Census data shows the Latino population is at 17% in Salt Lake County and continues to grow, but their involvement in politics is very limited. Latino organizations are reaching out to the minority population to get people to start voting. Brent, an engineer with Track, says distractions like listening to music are a big reason why people place their lives in danger on the tracks. Around 38 undocumented immigrants were seen trying to cross this open field behind me. They were reported to the FAR and Hidalgo police departments. Saludos, muy buenas noches. La iglesia estuvo repleta de personas. Cantidades de fieles católicos arribaron para tomar parte en esta oportunidad que no se ve todos los días. Este es uno de los peligrosos caminos recorridos por los inmigrantes indocumentados para llegar a esta comunidad al sur de la ciudad de La Joya.
What do you know about Black History Month? Do you know a black guy when you see one?
Will Smith.
It's gone viral on YouTube in only one day. Utah comedian Dave Ackerman asked university students in Provo what they know about Black History Month. The response?
March or April or something like that.
But he did this while in blackface.
Blackface is something that originated in the 19th century among whites. They would often cork their face with burnt cork and then perform very exaggerated stereotypes of blackness and black character.
When they asked who's been like influential, I guess it was like all rap singers, like that's kind of sad.
He kind of was going with a stereotypical view that I think most people have.
Did it make you feel uncomfortable at any point?
I did think it was funny that everyone referred to the exact same things over and over again.
Others found this entertaining.
A powerful means to prove that, quite are ignorant in the fact of what he was trying to prove.
So I met up with Ackerman to ask him what his intentions were.
And I wanted to raise awareness in an interesting way and get a conversation started.
He tells me he was looking for the shock factor.
Here I am, a white guy with my face painted black, but nobody said anything.
If he was trying to teach people about ignorance, he probably didn't do it appropriately.
It's any mother's worst fear to lose their child. Shari Bryant's son Jeremy died in a freak accident while riding his ATV at the Little Sahara sand dunes Saturday.
I was actually at work, and my dad and my oldest brother, Tom, came over to my work.
Jeremy told her he wanted to be a pro.
That was his passion. He wanted to be like Nitro Circus and be part of that crew.
Jeremy snapped his neck after going over a 20-foot jump. His friends watched him give his last breath.
They were trying to dig all the blood out of the helmet and stuff, and trying to get him to breathe.
Dallin Riddick says Jeremy always lifted people's spirits.
One thing we love to do is dance. He was such a good dancer. He was an amazing dancer.
He was like a pro.
That's what Mom will miss the most.
His laugh and his smile. And him just saying, "Mom, I love you." And his cute little wavy dances.
He was a really fun kid.
Dallin says his best friend made him a stronger person. There's one thing he'll never forget.
Every day when he saw me, he would jump on my back and say, "I love you, Dallin. I love you so much, buddy."
Mom says there will always be a bit of Jeremy here. He will give the gift of life to other people.
Keep him in your heart and your lives forever. He's donated lots of parts of his body, so he'll be walking in somebody else's shoes.
There's no doubt the so-called happy hour was made to bring people together at a convenient price.
Hi guys. Thank you.
No, I don't think people become alcoholics because the price is cheaper. I think that more people might be able to afford to go out with their friends.
In Utah, you can't do this after a new liquor law was passed in 2011. Businesses like About Time are hurting.
When drinks are cheaper and food's a little bit cheaper, it's going to bring in more customers, that's for sure. Not necessarily get them drunk.
So bars filed a lawsuit to fight the new requirements that ban drink specials and place limits on coveted liquor licenses.
I don't see that it contributes any more to over-imbibing than driving and using your cell phone or talking on the phone. I think if you're going to get drunk, you're going to get drunk.
Scott Bushy says happy hour has helped him on business trips, meet with business partners without having to spend so much money.
Also helps the economy as well because it brings more people in earlier, and obviously in the long run it's more volume, which will probably create more profits.
In court documents ABC4 obtained previously, the Attorney General stated a conspiracy does not exist simply because a government entity issues restraints citizens must follow. This waitress says it's liquor laws like this that have given the state a bad rep.
Every other state has happy hour. Utah gets shunned a little bit, and they're not allowed to have it, just like with our 3.2 beer versus the 6 point that you get everywhere else.
Starting at the crack of dawn, day laborers gather at a street corner, like this one, hustling just to land a job. I wanted to be in their shoes. We'll see how easy it is for me to find a job and how long it'll take. I became Armando Marroquin. I'm from Reynosa, Tamaulipas, which is a state in the northern part of Mexico. The reason I moved here was to help my sister pay for her school. She's trying to get an education. And so my journey began. I don't know if these people are going to be friendly to me or if they're going to be sort of aggressive, find me as a competitor. As I got closer, my nerves got the best of me. Are they going to ask for my documentation? Are they going to even care if I'm an undocumented immigrant? Two men said hello. The others weren't so welcoming. Then this guy, Andres, came up to me. He said times are tough and suggested I do as my sister.
It'd be better if you went to school.
Andres told me to be quick. The guys with more skills get picked up faster, but he has one more advantage.
You have to learn a little bit of English.
And he was right. Within minutes, he was on his way to mow lawns. Later that day, I also met Sergio. Sergio crossed the border through California in 1986 all on his own with no family. He's from Nayarit, Mexico. He's moved around the West Coast from Washington to California and now Utah. He was glad to help a newcomer like me.
They pick you up here. They can hire you for a day, a week, sometimes just a few hours. Situation's tough.
I asked if I needed a visa to work.
They'll pay you cash, but at a restaurant, a store, a company, or hotel, they'll give you a check, and that's a hassle.
Sergio said some employers abuse undocumented workers by making them work long hours and hardly paying them at all.
You have to ask them, how much an hour? Most of these people come out here to work and make a day's living, try to help their family sustain themselves.
Getting paid is only part of the struggle. Sergio also has to watch out for drug dealers on the streets. He says it's those few bad apples who get immigrants who want to work in trouble.
This woman wants drugs. She's looking for coke. Dealers sometimes come out here to sell coke or marijuana.
Sergio wasn't going to risk his freedom.
No, nothing. You need to check over there in the corner.
Utah won national attention this year for HB 497. Some call it a gentler approach to immigration because it allows undocumented people to remain in the state if they work and don't commit crimes. But others criticize it for allowing police to do the job of immigration officials. Sergio worries about what will happen.
It gets worse every day. It's all going downhill.
After all the waiting, today wasn't so bad. Sergio gets an offer.
I have a shop. I have a new location.
This man needs help moving materials.
Sergio asked him how much. He said, well, how much are you willing to do the job for? And he asked for $10 an hour.
I'm going to Layton, you know?
Layton?
Yeah.
Yeah, Layton. I live in over there, in the Bilingual over there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so I come back to 3 o'clock.
I wished Sergio luck and we went our separate ways.
Gracias. I have a whole different perspective about their life and how they get by on a day-to-day basis.
Because even for day laborers, the economy has taken its toll on their opportunities, an opportunity they came for in the first place. Antonio Lujan, ABC 4 News.